Hi there, the Rogue Reviewer here, just out of the cinema from watching Ballerina. Today's show, I'm going to give you the good and the bad. I've got Jon Outworld with me today, so I'm going to deliver the good points of the film, he's going to deliver the bad points of the film, and then we'll give our overall scores at the end of the show. Okay, so we're on to the good. I'm going to give you my good points about the film now. There might be a few spoilers, so here we go. So on to the first part. The cinematography of the film looks fantastic. It really feels like you're in a John Wick universe and fully feels part of that series. Number two, John Wick is really good in this film, but he's not overused and he's not a cameo. He's vital to the plot of the film, but it's really about Eve's story. Thirdly, the weapons get upgraded in this film compared to some of the previous John Wick films, and they're used in a really good way. There's a good use of some grenades and some flamethrowers that I think fans of the series are really going to love.
Hi, I'm Jon Outworld, and I'm here to talk about all the bad in Ballerina. Now on to the bad. During her heroine journey, she's forced to get into a situation with a larger and more dangerous opponent. Now, rightly so, she forces herself to kick him into the private parts. What's not rightly so is when he was down and he'd already won the fight, is for her to kick him in the private parts again.
Okay, you also got Ana de Armas, who is the ballerina, Eve's character. She's very good. She holds her own in the movie as well. There's some good action, fighting choreography. And she feels very similar to the Keanu Reeves character John Wick, and there's some really good battles against some of the other factions in the world. Also, the antagonist, Gabriel Byrne, is fantastic in this film. He has some great villain dialogue and some good one-on-one scenes with some of the henchmen and some back and forth between Eve's character as well. The pacing of the film is really good as well. It's nearly a 2-hour film, but from start to end you're not bored. You're entertained literally from start to finish, what you'd expect from a John Wick style of film.
She's got her first contract. She's got to try and infiltrate a super cool nightclub. We go into the nightclub and there's nobody there. It's the most boring looking nightclub that I would feel embarrassed to have paid £20 to go into. Then as soon as the fight starts, she's wearing the most unsensible shoes. Girls, you've got to know that she's going to break her ankle trying to spin around. Credit to her, she doesn't break her ankle.
Okay, so there's some good comedy moments as well with some of the kind of awkward situations that kind of spread nicely through the film. That gets a few chuckles, but this doesn't take too much away from the action. The music in the film's really good. It feels like an authentic John Wick film, and there's some. It goes perfectly with some of the fighting choreography as well. Also, the locations are beautiful. Set in Prague, the Swiss Alps, some really stunning nightclubs, and the Continental Hotel as well. Some really distinctive locations that make the film visually look just spectacular.
As our journey continues on, we end up in Prague, and in the kind of John Wick universe, we end up in a Continental Hotel. In a Continental Hotel, one of the most important rules is to not kill any guest while on property. Where the guests in Prague seem to not concern themselves with the consequences of their actions and go on a mad trying to kill spree with no concern for anything. As you can imagine, things can only get worse. And we end up into some crazy grenade fight, which is really, really cool. But it started to go on to the too much unbelievable stages. Gabriel Byrne's character makes a threat to the ballerina school, and from what I've seen in this cinematic universe, that is not a threat that I would want to try and keep. Between John Wick and Eve, they have racked up a lot of kills. Keeping with that tradition, infinite ammo with a flamethrower. as Eve burns away score after score of people. And from my video game experience, I found that flamethrowers don't have a lot of ammo. I'm assuming that translates into real life.
Okay, so on to the acting. The acting overall is pretty solid. Ana de Armas does a really great job as the main heroine leads. John Wick, Keanu Reeves, he knows how to play his character. He does a great job. It's great seeing Ian McShane in there. Gabriel Byrne's probably one of the new additions to the film that I've really appreciated. The story arc for Eve is really good. It has a good sort of starting journey, and then the build up how she trains, and has a good montage of getting into her role and learning how to become an assassin. And really invested into her story, gave the character a lot of depth, which I appreciate.
What was with all the ballerina training at the beginning? Why did she need to be a ballerina? I was desperate to see at least one scene, at least one point, see her dancing to, as if that was a point to a film. Maybe it was her cover. But there was nothing, there was no payoff, there was no ballerining. And for me, that's the greatest flaw.
So that was the good and the bad of Ballerina. I hope you enjoyed it. I personally give this film an 8.1 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys go and watch it and let me know what you think.
So I was the bad, and I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was very well made, cool lighting and cool shots. Definitely worth a watch. I'd give it a 8 out of 10.
So I hope you like this video. Please follow, like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and we'll see you next time.